Raider Nation, what's going on? I'm your host, Mitchell Renz, and we got a special Raiders report coming at you because, Tom, what the hell is going on with the Oakland Raiders?
Well, we were going to do our short for the Khalil Mack trade, and then A.J. McCarron got traded to Oakland too, and then Martavis Bryant got cut, so we're just going to talk about all of them here for you, because what on earth?
A threesome, Tom, that I don't even want to be a part of. So, Raider Nation, we got a lot of awesome stuff for you. And first, we got some Khalil Mack trade details coming at you.
All right, first off, YouTubers who were mad that we talked about a Khalil Mack trade, well, there you go. I expect apology from each and every single one of you in the comment section. And you're just be thankful I had the receipts. I didn't end up tweeting them because I kind of overslept today.
Yeah, well, I woke up to, Tom, a text from my buddy Travis. I can't believe that Khalil Mack's going to get traded. Now, I'll be honest, I've woken up next to worse. But it was something that I did not want to wake up next to, that's for sure.
So those are the exact details of the trade. It's 2 firsts going to the Oakland Raiders, plus a 3rd and a 6th. The Bears get a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick back. That 5th-round pick also is a conditional selection. So Oakland now has 3 extra picks that maybe could be in the top 75 in the course of the next 2 drafts. The Bears, meanwhile, this year and next year have no 1st and no 2nd-round selection. They do get an extra 3rd, though, or an extra 2nd in 2020, but interesting to see how that's gone down.
I can't even believe it. I mean, we talked about it on the Raiders report, or I talked about it multiple times, and again, people are like, oh, this is never going to happen, never going to happen. Tom, it happened.
It happened.
And guys, we want to know from you, who won the Khalil Mack trade? We want you to type R for the Raiders or type B for the Bears. Tom, who won the Khalil Mack trade?
Look, the Raiders did get the 2 first-round picks back that they wanted. They also got a 3rd. They did give a 2nd, but I'm going to go with the winner as the team that got one of the premier defenders in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Bears as the winner of this trade because it's one thing to assume, oh, 2 first-round picks, those are going to be great selections. Well, once you start attaching names to those, it kind of changes things a little bit.
And I want to be optimistic as well, but I mean, realistically, the Raiders haven't been the best team in the draft. I think their best 2 picks, Derek Carr and Khalil Mack, I mean, since 2014. So when I look at this trade, Raider Nation, I'll be honest, guys, I think the Bears won this, so I'm typing a B. It kills me to say it, and it's one of those things, I mean, what the hell am I going to talk about now in the Raiders report? But, like, this is what we're dealing with. Hopefully those picks turn out to be something great because Khalil Mack, man.
They need it to be.
I'm going to miss Khalil Mack.
By the way, he did sign his new contract with the Chicago Bears. $90 million guaranteed, 60 of it at signing, a 6 years, $141 million deal. The Raiders never came close to offering that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, we didn't see the talks increase since February. And I said last week
the Bears got it done in like 24 hours, and the Raiders couldn't even
I know, this is like working all night. I mean, apparently like, they started, and then once they start coming in, the Bears were just like, hey, here's this offer, and the Raiders couldn't turn it down, but the $60 million at the signing, and there's a reason because guess what, Tom? Khalil Mack's been an absolute force, especially since entering the NFL in 2014. I mean, you're talking about a guy, Tom, 36.5 sacks the last 3 years.
That's consistency right there. Now, his first year didn't have as many sacks, but you can pencil him in for 73 to 80-ish tackles, 10-plus sacks each year. Yeah, that's who Khalil Mack is.
And in today's NFL, you know, with the quarterbacks and being able to get after him, Khalil Mack got after the quarterbacks. I mean, and that's really going to hurt this Raiders defense. Now, I will say the Raiders defense has been playing pretty well this preseason, so let's give them a little bit of credit there. But obviously, losing a guy like Khalil Mack, that's not going to help this year. So,
how concerned are you about their pass rush now?
I'm definitely concerned a little bit. I mean, you lose, I would say, arguably the best defender. You could also argue Aaron Donald's the best defender in the league. But when you lose that type of presence, I mean, that's going to hurt Bruce Irvin. I think it's going to hurt Arden Key. It's going to hurt, you know, Maurice Hurst. It sucks. I mean, then when you look at this Raiders depth chart, there's a lot of talent here, but it's a lot of raw talent. Like Arden Key's a guy who I think could have went in the first round. PJ Hall.
And he kept his head on straight at LSU.
Yeah, 100% there. And then, you know, Irving, again, is the guy who I think is going to be stepping in there at the defensive end, who really could be this. I'm hoping he gets 10 sacks, but man, I'll tell you what, that depth chart looked much better with a guy like Khalil Mack.
I guess on the positive side for the Raiders, you do have some young talent there in Key and Hall and Hurst. Hall put up ungodly numbers at the FCS level. Hurst and Key had first-round talent, but Key had off-the-field issues. Hurst had some medical issues that caused him to drop. The Bears, meanwhile, all of a sudden, this is a really good unit. Now, I will list Roquan as the backup for now, but he's going to be starting by the middle of the year. Now you have Floyd and Khalil Mack. I thought overall with the Bears, I like their team a lot, but I was looking at their roster, I'm like, they're missing that impact guy, that elite impact player, because I like Akeem Hicks, I like Floyd, I like Trevathan, I have some high promise for Smith, I like Fuller, but didn't have that elite defender. and now they've got one in Khalil Mack. So all of a sudden, if you're Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, and oh, by the way, I saw one Packers reporter claim that this was a good move for Green Bay. The Bears going to Khalil Mack, which just made absolutely no sense out there. But the Bears now, they think they've kind of accelerated their rebuilding process a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team quite yet.
Nope.
But I think the addition puts them, they're going to be a very popular pick next year. And the benefit of having a quarterback on a first-year contract is shown in this. You can front-load this Khalil Mack deal.
So, guys, we want to know from you, did Oakland make the right decision in trading Mack? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Tom, I'm going to go no, man. Like, I'm typing my N. Like, it was one of those things we understand, like, Mack, I don't know if he was going to play right away.
Mm-hmm. And there was the money side of it.
I think Gruden panicked. I think the Raiders panicked.
I think a little bit, and in the end, the number one thing is Oakland has to hit on those picks.
Yeah.
If they end up with a bust or two in those first-round picks, the trade is an absolute loss. So right. I don't like the trade in general because I think that the NFL at times overvalues draft picks. You are hoping that those two players combined can become close to Khalil Mack. Wouldn't you rather have the actual thing?
I mean, again, we're talking about money in that sense. It's just there's a lot that goes into it. But, man, I'll tell you what, I'm nervous, Raider Nation. I really am. And I think, judging by Twitter, you guys are too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next trade that we're going to hop into because Khalil Mack was the only thing going on. A.J. McCarron, he's coming over to Oakland. And in return, we gave the Bills a 5th-round pick for 2019. Tom, your thoughts?
Good job by Buffalo to get something back for a quarterback that was no longer, I guess, in their long-term
And literally
plans.
hurt. He's literally hurt.
He's healthy now. It's not going to be that much in terms of overall money for the Raiders. They're paying him under $1 million based on his base salary, and they can cut him with limited guaranteed money going forward. But not a good sign for the Connor Cook era. Of course, that is now dead.
It's now done.
Not a good sign for A.J. Manuel. I also feel pretty bad for A.J. McCarron because he wanted to go to Buffalo to get his starting shot, and now he's with Oakland behind Derek Carr.
Well, poor Buffalo fans, because now you're dealing with Peterman and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the guy that you definitely weren't crazy about. But am I ultimately surprised, Tom, with this move? Not really. I mean, John Gruden said last week when he was asked, do we have a backup quarterback on the roster? He literally said, I don't know. So now you're going to go out, you're going to get a guy like A.J. McCarron. Now, I've never been a fan of Connor Cook. Nope. But E.J. Manuel, I thought, played okay, this past week in preseason. So, I mean, right there, looking at that depth chart, I mean, obviously Derek Carr is the clear starter. And then McCarron there and E.J. Manuel, they're going to battle it out for the second spot. But
I think McCarron's going to win that job.
Yeah, I do too.
Look, I don't hate the trade. I just am a little bit worried about giving up draft picks for a player that ideally never actually plays for you.
Yeah. And
especially a 5th round. Now, if it had been a 6th or 7th, I would have been fine with it. And in the end, I'm okay with it, but it is a little pricey for a backup.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. Okay, we're going to get into this next one right now.
This one's bad.
This one's pretty crazy to me, right? So, trades, and then Martavis Bryant got cut, Tom. So I can't even believe this. So they acquired him earlier this offseason for a 3rd-round pick, and now apparently he's pending an appeal for drug suspension from the NFL. We know he's got all this off-field issues. He missed all 2016 due to a suspension. Martavis Bryant cut by the Raiders.
They wasted a 3rd-round pick.
Exactly.
That's what this was. This was a waste of a draft pick, and it was a relatively high draft pick too because they traded him away.
Yep.
And get nothing out of him except some training camp reps.
Which
a
helps
disaster.
Nobody.
An absolute disaster there for the Oakland Raiders to trade a 3rd-round pick for Martavis Bryant. By the way, Oakland wasn't going to trade Bryant because no one offered them anything of note. And then Oakland comes through with a 3rd-round pick. Pittsburgh won massively.
Oh, huge.
Huge trade win.
Huge win for the Steelers. And I mean, the Raiders just ultimately were just cutting everyone. I'm actually worried John Gruden's even going to make this roster. Okay, Tom. Raiders wide receiver depth chart here. We got Amari at number 1. Jordy's there at 2. And then Seth Roberts is, from what it looks like, going to be working out of the slot. Good news for a guy like Blacknell making the roster after a solid 4th preseason game. But I'm not confident in this Raiders wide receiver depth chart. I'm really surprised Aitman got cut.
I was about to mention that. That surprised me too.
He was one of my winners last week, and apparently the Raiders don't watch the Raiders Report, so Gruden, subscribe to the Oakland Raiders Report because, my man, you need to get going. So, we talked about cuts, Tom. We talked about all this stuff. Raider Nation, how y'all feeling? Because I am going nuts. It's Saturday. I check my phone. It's blowing up. Oh, my Lord. And then it just keeps piling on, Tom. It's a black hole that I can't even believe I'm in. So, Raider Nation, how you feeling? Type in your comments. If you want to keep it PG, don't. I would rather you keep it R. Like, let's have some fun here. So, how you feeling, Raider Nation? Because I'm panicking. No doubt about that.
Yeah, not great for Oakland so far. Hopefully things bounce.